I definitely did admire the EVP when she took a lot of the college to Finland to basically show how resilient Finland is and how they are protecting their borders, amongst others, with advanced technology. I think that it was a very nice move to basically educate politicians around in Europe on how resilience and how CISO is made in Finland through a digital resilience and investment also. As a former EVP and minister in Finland, Virkkunen has been really involved in tech policy, security, defense, and not least, of course, in defending our democracy. She is now leading Europe's efforts on digital and security. We know that we have a gap to close. We realize that, but we also have winners, as we just heard just before. We are definitely seeing Europe as a winning continent on connectivity, advanced manufacturing, where we do also collaborate with other nations on AI, on cloud and others. As it said, it's a cycle and we are all connected. So leading Europe's role in winning the tech race is done more than ever by EVP Virkkunen. So welcome to Digital Europe for the first time since you became the EVP. I am very happy to welcome you on stage. Please.
Yes, thank you so much, Cecilia, and it's a great pleasure to be here today and take a part to your summer summit here. And I can see that it's a very interesting topic because the room is really fully packed. Everybody is not even having a seat here, and I understood that there's also a lot of people online today. So it's a great pleasure to be here and tell a little bit about the current priorities of the European Commission. Last weekend also marked the first half-year anniversary for us, so we have been in our positions now half year. And of course, it has been a very busy time when we speak about technology and digitalization, as you know. Very clear two main priorities for this Commission are security and competitiveness. And of course, technology is very much in heart of both of these topics. And one of the first initiatives we adopted was our competitiveness compass. And I think it's something that you are also focusing today very much to that how to boost innovations and investments in the European Union. And especially there we were identifying that we have to be much more faster and also simpler for the businesses. And that's why simplification is something that we are speaking a lot. And I will come also later to this topic because I think that it's also very close to your heart here. Many of you have been working during the last years with our digital rules in the European Union, and you know that during the last 5-10 years' time, we have adopted a very big package of digital rules, but there's also overlapping parts and many reporting obligations, and we can simplify the processes and cut red tape. Then another important topic to where we have to really focus, and also our CEO of Nokia was mentioning that it's the single market aspect, that we have to create a single market to European Union. There's still too many obstacles between the member states, and it's also creating, of course, hurdles, especially when we look, for example, our startups to scale up in the European Union. And especially when we are looking at our startups, we have also challenges with the access to finance. So lack of venture capital, lack of capital markets union, it's something also that we have to focus to make sure that Europe is a place where you can also scale up your businesses. That's why we just last week we adopted our startup and scale-up strategy, and especially we are focusing on that, how to make sure that our startups are having access to finance in the European markets. Because when we are looking, for example, the amount of startups in the European Union, we can see that annually even more startups are established in the European Union than, for example, in USA. But when we look scale-ups, then 60% of the scale-ups, they are in Northern America and only 8% in the European Union. So it really shows that when the businesses are growing from startups, it's very difficult to scale up the businesses in the European Union. And the main reasons are very much lack to single market and also then lack to access to venture capital and financing. And then we, of course, have to all the time remember also that Europe is an aging population, so we have to take good care of our people and citizens here, make sure that we can educate everybody very well, and also people have good opportunities to develop their skills also and reskill and upskill in the European Union, but also we want to be an attractive place for people all over the world to come to Europe, study here, start their businesses here, work here, and especially now we have been calling also the researchers and scientific experts all over the world to come to Europe, because we want to really support the freedom of science and research in the European Union. We see that it's one of the greatest strengths we have when we speak about our competitiveness, that we have so well-educated people and we have so strong research and scientific community. But then especially when we are coming now to critical technologies and to where we want to really boost the innovations and investments in the European Union, I think today you will focus especially to AI. And of course, it's now one of the fields where we are focusing a lot. So in April, we published our AI Continent Action Plan, and there's again, five sectors where we are now working to make sure that Europe can be very competitive in this sector in the future. And first part, it's about infrastructure. So now we are investing to our supercomputers together with member states. So already 13 so-called AI factories has been established in different member states. And the idea is now to bring together computing capacity, talented people, and very high quality data sets also to develop AI in European Union. Because we have identified that the infrastructure is something what is setting obstacle for the innovations, because our startup entrepreneurs, they don't have access to computing capacity, and it's a same challenge for our researchers. We have thousands of startups in the European Union who are developing AI, and we have also very strong research community. We have biggest amount of researchers per capita when we are looking sector of AI. But now we have to really give good opportunities also for them to develop AI. And that's why we are now focusing to infrastructure part. And like CEO of Nokia was mentioning, we are also working on gigafactories currently. So we have raised the ambition. We want to also build from 4 to 5 gigafactories to European Union in coming years. And currently we have call for expression of interest. And we are expecting that in the coming weeks we will have many proposals from different member states and also from the industry side that who are willing to invest to gigafactories. And then we will look at what kind of consortiums there could be in the European Union, and we will publish the official call later in autumn about the gigafactories. But it seems that there is huge interest toward this infrastructure. And of course, it's an important part of our AI continent that we have the computing capacity and we have the infrastructure. But then we are also looking the data part, because we are very much also all the time facing criticizing or information that it's still very difficult to use data, and there's many obstacles. So we are now trying to identify together with industries and public sector, with stakeholders, that where are the obstacles and how we could make sure that it's easier to use data. And we have also very high quality data sets for the AI developers. And we are planning to also publish our data strategy later on this year. And it's an important part of our AI Continent Action Plan, because high quality data is needed, of course, to train AI and also deploy AI. And third part of our AI Continent Action Plan, it's about apply AI. So we are also now identifying with the industries and different sectors, with public sector as well, that where are the obstacles, that why they are not applying AI more in the European Union. The average in last year in the European Union was 13%. 13% of the businesses, they were using AI in last year. But of course, there's very big also differences between the member states. In some member states, it was only 2-3% of the businesses who were already using AI. In some countries, like in Nordic countries, which are very digitalized, it was something like 25% of the businesses in last year. And I think in this year, the amount will be, or the increase will be, I think, very, very big, because now there is more and more better and easier use or better applications also for the different industries in this aspect. But we really want to also support our public sector and also different industries to uptake AI. And we are also going to publish our Apply AI strategy later on this year, but now we are collecting also information for that, and we are very, of course, willing to also get your feedback on that how you see that, what kind of actions are need to take on the European level really to support the uptake of AI. Fourth part of our AI Continent Action Plan is again about talent, because we see that talented people are needed to develop AI, and we will focus a lot to that. And then fifth part, it's, I think, very interesting part from your perspective, and of course it's the simplification. So we want to make sure also that we are simplifying the rules, and we are making it easier for the businesses also to comply with our rules. And we know that there is many overlapping rules when we look our digital legislation as whole and whole rule book, and there's also a lot of reporting obligations. So we are currently now going through all our digital rules. We are preparing so-called digital fitness check, and after that simplification package also later this year. Especially now it looks that we will focus very much to data part, and then also to cybersecurity, because during the last years we have been adopting big package of different cyber rules, and there is many overlapping parts and also a lot of reporting obligations. So we are looking at how to simplify the processes. We have also now a public consultation open on Cyber Act. So we will also review our Cyber Act during the autumn, and there we will look also, for example, the trusted vendors part, what was mentioned also from the CEO of Nokia's speech, because we see, of course, that it's very important when we speak about our critical telecommunication infrastructure that we are using only trusted vendors. And we will also look at that part in Cyber Act, but also with our telecom package, what we are also preparing now. And it will be our, I think, the biggest legislative action in this year when it comes to digital world, this Digital Networks Act. So it's a new telecom package. And there we want to really modernize our rules and make sure that we have incentives to invest to connectivity in the European Union, because this is, of course, like basis for all our innovations, that we have very modern and advanced connectivity in the European Union. And we are lagging behind, like we heard. So it's basis for all the success in the future, that we have also good connectivity for businesses, for new applications and ideas, and of course for the citizens also all over the European Union. So these are the main areas where we are working now. So we are enforcing our legislation and rules currently, and then we are also simplifying very much the processes to make sure that we have that kind of regulatory framework that encourages innovations and investments in the European Union. In the same time, we want to give legal certainty, of course, for the investors all the time, and we see that also nowadays, when there's so much instability in the world, it's also important that we have very predictable environment also when it comes to investors' perspective, and we are trying to create it. So we are very committed when we speak about simplification. It doesn't mean deregulation. We are very committed to our main principles when we speak about our rules, but we want to make it easier and simpler for the businesses. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I mean, two things on the Apply strategy. We're ready to give input, and we are preparing. We just had our Energy Council meeting. We have our Defense Council meeting, and manufacturing. So we will be ready to give the input. So you said a little bit about the innovation and security. You are also responsible for sovereignty and for the security of digital. And the Commission recently published this white paper called the European Armament Technology Roadmap. And I think we both share this passion that Ukraine has really led the way in many senses on what digital means for security nowadays. So how do we make sure that we harvest these benefits from I would say, civil applications and on both sides in civil society and in our protection of our democracies?
I think that now when so many member states have been announcing that they will increase their defense spending and defense investments in the coming years, I think it's also very good news for our competitiveness and for our technologies, because we know that they are going very much hand in hand. And especially now when we look, for example, to critical technologies, what we have been identifying from the Commission side, that where we want to really focus now, AI, our semiconductors, and quantum technology. All of these are playing a very important role in defense industry as well. We are also currently now finalizing our quantum strategy, so we will publish that in 2nd of July. And of course, quantum technology is something that the European Union is very strong in this area, and we want to make sure that we are having the lead also in the future. So we will publish our quantum strategy, and later this year also Quantum Act to boost also investments in this sector. And when it comes to semiconductor, we have already CHIPS Act in place, and now we are preparing CHIPS Act 2. And this is very much the message also from the semiconductor industry side, that it's really this industry which is also leading the development in defense industry. When we speak of very good competitive technologies, then it's very much up, of course, the chips industry, that how competitive we can be in the future. So I think that this is a very good news also for our technologies and competitiveness, that now finally our member states are also investing in the defense industry.
Amazing, and you already said that connectivity is like the backbone of all that, right? And it also plays a major role. So I'm particularly happy that you mentioned simplification, because today we are actually publishing a paper, and I think maybe, Chris, we can get a copy of the paper. So we started this work like 1.5 years ago, and all the people that you see in the room has been a part of this bottom-up process of, analyzing where we can cut and simplify. And I think Justin also mentioned, like you, the single market, this scalability problem, but the simplification, the scale, and the single market, the lack of this home market, right? So how do you see that this will this be like in the next 1 to 3 years? How will you implement these simplification measurements?
Of course, I want to be also very fast here, but we will see now, because currently we are now analyzing, of course, that what has to be done. And it's possible, of course, that there is some parts which are more challenging, that it's not so simple just to propose that we will cut something away. But anyway, we are committed to that during the autumn, in the last quarter of this year, we will propose our omnibus simplification package. And I think it's going to be a good package. But of course, now we really need also the ideas from the stakeholders side, because you are working there hands-on in these topics, and really see also, for example, the overlapping parts. We know, for example, with AI Act, which we are now implementing, and I have promised that I want to implement it in very innovation-friendly manner, and we will really support our SMEs and industry also to comply with the rules and help them. So there's also, for example, some parts which are overlapping with DSA. So and it's the same company who has to comply with DSA and AI Act. So we have to, for example, look that kind of interfaces we have.
And I'm very happy to say this morning we had around 10 executives basically giving input on the AI Act, on the cyber resilience, and Silke from your cabinet.
So everything is done already.
So
yes.
Maybe not, but at least it's a great honor to hand this one to you. It's an executive brief on the simplification of digital rules in Europe that is being published today. I want to, before we leave stage, and give a big hand to the EVP, maybe Justin, you would not mind coming up and we can take a picture of the Finnish power digital gang here.
Okay.